Sparkling ruby jewelry has long been an essential part of the treasuries of the world's grandest royal dynasties. The color of these precious stones, ranging from vivid red to deep purple and soft pink, offers jewelers a canvas of vibrant possibilities. I'm thrilled to present to you the most impressive ruby tiaras and parures, featuring both iconic royal family jewels and hidden gems. Whether you're a history enthusiast or simply dazzled by the beauty of fine jewelry, this video has something for you. To prolong the enjoyment, I have divided the content into two parts, each balanced with both famous ruby masterpieces and lesser-known treasures, each with an equally captivating story. Before we begin, please support my channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you. The ruby, with its fiery red glow, is the stone of love and life, celebrated for its beauty and exquisite rarity. As a symbol of love, vitality, passion, and magical power, this enchanting gemstone frequently graces engagement rings, tiaras, and royal crowns. Rubies are mined in Africa, Asia, and Australia, with the most notable sources being Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. Alongside sapphires, rubies belong to the illustrious corundum family, a fact definitively established around 1800. Before then, red spinel and red garnet were also considered rubies, collectively known as carbuncles. The name carbuncle derives from the Latin word rubeus, meaning red. Due to its high quality and hardness, ruby is one of the finest gemstones for use in jewelry. And now it's time to delve into the world of ruby tiaras. Let's begin. King Edward VII Ruby Tiara. The King Edward VII Ruby Tiara is a Swedish royal jewel, but its history links it to the UK. This diamond and ruby tiara, featuring 3 large heart-shaped elements, was crafted by E. Wolfe & Co., presumably for Gerard. The tiara was a wedding gift from King Edward VII and Queen Alexandra of Great Britain to their niece, Princess Margaret of Connaught, who married the future King Gustav VI Adolf of Sweden. Tragically, Margaret never witnessed her husband ascend to the throne of Sweden as she passed away from an infection following surgery. Her jewels were then distributed among their children. Their daughter, Ingrid, inherited the Khedive tiara and took it with her when she married and became Queen of Denmark. Their son, Gustav Adolf, inherited the Connaught tiara, while their youngest son, Sigvard, inherited this ruby tiara. Prince Sigvard married a commoner and consequently lost his royal title. When he needed money, he sold the tiara back to his father, King Gustav VI Adolf. Later, Sigvard caused quite a stir, claiming that he had only lent the tiara and that the agreement was for it to be returned to him when he was financially stable again. However, the king insisted that the sale was final. Perhaps as a conciliatory gesture, the king stipulated in his will that the tiara be left to Prince Sigvard's son, Michael. Michael cheerfully sold it to the new king, Karl XVI Gustav. Nevertheless, Sigvard was displeased and remained bitter about losing his title and the tiara's fate. He even caused an uproar when Queen Sylvia wore the tiara in 1995 at the wedding of Prince Joachim of Denmark and Alexandra Manly. Apparently, Sylvia was quite shaken by this, and the tiara disappeared into the vault. However, since 2007, Queen Sylvia has resumed wearing the tiara. Sigvard's death in 2002 likely had a lot to do with this renewed display of the elegant piece. Vladimir Ruby Kokoshnik. In 1908, the wife of Grand Duke Vladimir Alexandrovich took 14 brooches, 2 pendants, and a diamond and ruby necklace to the master jewelers at the Cartier house in Paris. The stones, extracted from outdated pieces of jewelry, varied in cut and size, so it took Cartier some time to create a unique tiara from them. Cartier's craftsmen created a tiara featuring a 5.22-carat ruby, a notable weight for such a rare gemstone. According to jewelry historians, this Burmese ruby previously belonged to either Josephine de Beauharnais, the wife of Napoleon Bonaparte, or her daughter Hortense. Maria Pavlovna was thrilled with the resulting tiara. Soon, she not only commissioned Alfred Cartier for a series of additional jewelry, but also introduced them to her high society circles. Alfred Cartier was given the best spot at the palace's famous Christmas charity bazaar and was assisted by 2 princesses as salespersons. This tiara, along with other jewels of Grand Duchess Vladimir, was taken out of Russia after the revolution. The rubies, including the ruby Kokoshnik, were inherited by the Duchess's son, Grand Duke Andrei, who soon sold the Vladimir ruby Kokoshnik to Cartier. Cartier, in turn, sold the piece to Princess Anastasia of Greece, who was selecting a wedding gift for her future daughter-in-law, Princess Zhenya Georgievna of Russia. Princess Zhenya was only photographed wearing the Vladimir ruby Kokoshnik at the Russian ball held at the Plaza Hotel in New York City in 1927, where she was accompanied by her uncle, Prince Christopher. Princess Zhenya may have retained the Vladimir ruby Kokoshnik after her divorce in 1930, and it could have been inherited by her daughter, Nancy Leeds. However, the eventual fate of the tiara remains unknown. Württemberg Ruby Tiara. This magnificent set, consisting of a tiara, a pair of earrings, and a large brooch pendant, was created by the court jeweler Kokoshnik in Vienna around 1900, when Archduchess Maria Immaculata of Austria-Tuscany married Duke Robert of Württemberg. It is not precisely known who gifted this set to the Archduchess, but members of the Habsburg family, including Emperor Franz Joseph I, presented several ruby and diamond pieces by Kokoshnik to her sister-in-law, Archduchess Margaret Sophie of Austria, in 1893. Archduchess Maria Immaculata dazzled in her ruby tiara in a series of portraits taken shortly after her wedding. The couple had no children, and many of her jewels were passed down to family members. In 1960, the Archduchess gifted the set as a wedding present to Princess Diane of Orleans when she married her grandnephew, Duke Karl of Württemberg. Princess Diane wore the set with the tiara inverted at her lavish wedding ball at Altshausen Castle. Later, Princess Diane continued to wear the ruby tiara and set at numerous official dinners and balls, as well as for a series of family portraits taken in the 1970s. A few years ago, Princess Diane handed down the Württemberg ruby set to her second son, Duke Philip of Württemberg. It was first worn by Philip's wife, Duchess Marie Caroline of Bavaria, at the wedding ball of their daughter. The Bavarian ruby and Spinel Parure. The Bavarian ruby tiara is a magnificent piece of royal jewelry with a rich history dating back to the early 19th century. Its story begins with the wedding of Therese of Saxe-Hildburghausen to Bavarian Crown Prince Ludwig in 1810. This union was so momentous that it gave birth to the annual Oktoberfest celebrations. As a wedding gift, Therese received an impressive 4-piece gold parure adorned with rubies, diamonds, and spinels. The centerpiece of this set was a colossal tiara featuring a floral motif heavily set with diamonds and scattered rubies, crowned by 2 large central spinels. The tiara's significance grew when Ludwig and Therese ascended to the throne as King and Queen of Bavaria in 1825. As the years passed, the tiara was passed down through generations of the Bavarian royal family. It was last seen publicly in the early 1920s, worn by Princess Antonia, wife of Crown Prince Ruprecht of Bavaria. Today, the complete parure, including the impressive ruby tiara, is preserved and displayed at the Residenz Museum in Munich. This museum, housed in the former royal palace, serves as a testament to Bavaria's royal history and the enduring allure of this magnificent piece of jewelry. Bolin Ruby Tiara. The Bolin Ruby Tiara was created by the renowned Russian jeweler Bolin in 1874 for Grand Duchess Marie Alexandrovna of Russia on the occasion of her marriage to Prince Alfred, Duke of Edinburgh, the second son of Queen Victoria. The tiara featured a foliate scroll design adorned with cushion-shaped diamonds and decorated with 6 flower-head cluster motifs, each set with cabochon rubies surrounded by cushion-shaped diamond borders. It was part of a larger parure that included a necklace, earrings, 3 brooches, a ring, and a stomacher. Grand Duchess Marie Alexandrovna wore the necklace and stomacher for the coronation of her nephew, Tsar Nicholas II, in 1896. Upon her death in 1920, the tiara and the ruby parure were inherited by her daughter, Princess Alexandra. While Princess Alexandra was never photographed wearing the parure, her daughter-in-law, Princess Margarita of Greece, sister of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, was often pictured wearing the Bolin ruby parure until her death in 1981. Notably, she also wore the tiara to the coronation of her sister-in-law, Queen Elizabeth II, in 1953. Originally, the tiara had faceted rubies, but at some point, these were replaced with less expensive cabochon rubies. Following Margarita's passing, the Bolin ruby tiara, along with the necklace and earrings, was auctioned off in 1989. Since its auction, the tiara has not been seen, and its current whereabouts remain unknown. The Burmese ruby tiara. This tiara is one of the few jewels personally commissioned by Queen Elizabeth II. The rubies for the new tiara were received from the people of Burma as a wedding gift. The gift included exactly 96 rubies, all of which are now set in the tiara. It is believed that Elizabeth was given 96 rubies because the Burmese people held that there are 96 illnesses that could afflict a person. Given rubies' reputed healing qualities, this gesture was seen as a protective measure for the Queen and her health. In the early 1970s, Queen Elizabeth II approached the renowned jeweler Gerard with a request to create a new tiara. Unfortunately, creating the new tiara required dismantling another one. The sacrificial piece chosen was the Nizam of Hyderabad tiara, a diamond floral tiara the Queen had received as a wedding gift from the Indian Prince of Hyderabad. After the tiara was dismantled, Gerard used its diamonds to craft a new diamond and ruby tiara featuring heraldic Tudor roses. Queen Elizabeth wore her new ruby tiara often, especially in the years following its creation. Interestingly, although the Nizam of Hyderabad tiara no longer exists, the Queen retained 3 charming, removable brooches that were originally part of it. Throughout her reign, she occasionally wore these brooches. Following Elizabeth's passing in 2022, the ruby jewels were inherited by her son, King Charles III. His wife, Queen Camilla, wore the tiara at the South Korean state banquet at Buckingham Palace in November 2023 and at the state banquet for the Emperor and Empress of Japan. Many royal jewelry enthusiasts noted that she looked fabulous in this tiara. The Mellerio Ruby Tiara. Created for Queen Emma by jeweler Mellerio Dietmellers in 1889, this tiara features 3 large scrolls created from rubies and diamonds and 2 smaller scrolls connected on a diamond strand setting. The parure also included a ruby-encrusted fan, earrings, a necklace, a bracelet, a stomacher, and a brooch. Unfortunately, the fan remained in storage because of its fragility, and it is unlikely that we will ever see it in the hands of the Queen. By the way, for all parure elements, a silver prototype was first made so that the jewelry could be adjusted as desired. The silver version of the tiara and necklace can currently be seen in the Dutch Silver Museum's permanent exhibition. Though the ruby Mellerio tiara and parure belong to the Dutch royal family's Jewel Foundation, what makes the tiara unique is that, so far, it has only been reserved for Dutch queens or a crown princess to wear. Other female members of the Dutch royal family have worn other pieces of the parure, but never the tiara. Queen Juliana wore the brooch on her inauguration day. She loved the parure and was the last queen to wear the complete set, minus the fan, together. Queen Beatrix often wears various elements of the set, but she is not known to have donned the entire set at once. In her first official portrait as queen consort, Queen Maxima wore the ruby Mellerio tiara. Over the past several years, she has chosen it multiple times for dazzling events. One notable appearance was at the wedding of Prince Carl Philip of Sweden in 2015, where her bejeweled look was particularly celebrated. Queen Victoria's Oriental Circlet. One of the oldest tiaras in the royal family's collection, the Oriental Circlet dates back to Queen Victoria. This elegant piece of jewelry, adorned with large rubies and diamonds, was a heartfelt gift from Prince Albert to his beloved wife, Queen Victoria. Albert took a leading role in its design, drawing inspiration from the Indian jewelry showcased at the Great Exhibition of 1851. he envisioned a circlet featuring Mughal arches, a prominent feature of Indian architecture from past centuries. Using Albert's design, Gerard crafted the new Oriental Circlet in 1853. The frame is made of gold and set with diamonds and opals, which were among Albert's favorite gemstones. There was some controversy with this tiara, as diamonds from pieces originally belonging to Queen Charlotte were used. The King of Hanover believed they belonged to him, and a commission decided that he was the rightful owner. Consequently, the contested gems were removed and replaced by a mix of diamonds from other pieces and new stones in 1858. Upon Queen Victoria's death in January 1901, her will designated the Oriental Circlet and its accompanying opal and diamond jewels as heirlooms of the crown. When the opal suite passed to Queen Alexandra, she replaced the opals with rubies. While Queen Alexandra and Queen Mary were not often seen wearing the crown rubies, they became a favorite of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. She wore the tiara frequently throughout her husband's reign and continued to wear the set throughout her long widowhood, which lasted another 50 years. Queen Elizabeth II allowed her mother to retain the crown rubies after her accession. Eventually, Elizabeth wore the Oriental Circlet tiara for the first and only time at a banquet in Malta in 2006. Thank you for watching this video. Please tell me in the comments which ruby tiara or parure you like the most. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please support my channel by subscribing, liking, or sharing. Thank you.